Hi everyone, welcome back to Drink Read Fabio.
My name is Brimmer.
And I'm Sophia Kaiafas.
And we are your hosts of this podcast.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. It's been so long.
I know.
Let's tell them what we've been up to.
Yeah, so I know it's only been 2 weeks for you guys, but it's been about 6 weeks for us.
Yeah.
Because I was away with work for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we both went on vacation, and so now we're finally back together.
Yay! And
Yay.
we got to read a lot of books within that time. So we're back with a book that Kate and I both read.
Yes.
It's a little crazy, so we thought it would be perfect for the podcast. And so we picked our three favorite moments, our 3 least favorite moments, and one like special additional thing once we explain kind of the story to add to this, and then we'll write the book.
Of course.
Yes. So this story, I would say if you're gonna read it, to go into it with there's not really a way to summarize it that doesn't give anything away.
And also we need to say that there is a lot of trigger warnings here.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of really harsh stuff goes down. So there is rape, there is killing,
Violence, extreme
violence,
like mutilation,
child pornography and child rape.
Yeah.
Lots of bad stuff. So
Lots of
if
bad
anything is super triggering for you, we really recommend that you go and you research the book first, just to make sure that it's not going to trigger you in any way.
Yeah, because it's severely triggering.
It's severely triggering.
But basically, it's about this guy named Logan. He's an FBI agent. He works with like investigating serial killers. And then there's Lana, who is murdering.
She's a serial killer.
She's a serial killer. So we kind of get to see both of their point of views. They meet. They start to have a romance. But he's working on the case that she is killing people.
He is a serial killer hunter, and she is the serial killer he is hunting, but he does not know.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that is the story, and it's so interesting.
And as you learn about her, you realize that there is a reason, and I would say you understand in a way.
It has you questioning your own morals.
Yes.
That's how I would put it.
Yes.
But if you don't want any spoilers, stop now and go read the book and then come on back. Because after this, we're gonna...
I just kicked the table because I got excited. And we're gonna get into the Mindf series by Miss S.T Abby.
Yes, this is the Mindf series.
And
dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And we have some questionable looking drinks, but they're sherbet, vodka, Sprite, spritz drinks, and we haven't tried them yet, so cheers! But it feels good.
Yeah.
You ready to get into it?
Yes, let's do it.
Yay! Alright, so the Mindf series has 5 different books in it, but it's basically one big storyline.
It started out as an ebook, so an internet book, and then it gained a huge fan base, so they started printing it in one huge book. You can't buy it you cannot buy physical copies of each book. You can only get all 5 together in one chunky boy.
Yeah.
He's a chonker.
He is chunky.
We start off with Lana, who is our serial killer, and within the first 10 pages, they are already describing the way that she is brutally killing her people, her victims.
Mm-hmm.
And she is killing these guys because she was gang raped as a child with her brother, and they ended up killing her brother in that sequence, and they thought that she had died as well. Mm-hmm. But she ended up surviving. She got plastic surgery on her whole face, so she looks totally different, and is now, after all these people in her life, or her last life, I guess, is now she's like, I'm reborn.
Yeah, she basically takes the identity of another person and becomes a whole new person.
And starts going after these men and killing them one by one.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to Logan, our leading man, he is an FBI agent who specializes in serial killers.
Yeah.
And he has been given her case, and he is, saying it's kind of weird because they're men from all different areas, but they all grew up in the same town.
Yeah.
But this town is basically a cult. This town is a cult. And he can't get any information from them because the sheriff won't tell him anything. Oh, the whole town is run by the sheriff. He owns everything. What do they say?
Like he controls the network TV.
Yes.
So like what plays on their shows on their TV.
What they learn, what they know, what the schools teach. The sheriff runs everything. He has his own little world in this town. So whenever the FBI agents go to this town, he gives them little to nothing.
Yeah.
And just tells them, everything's fine here. There's no way it could relate to us at all. And so he is kind of confused and goes to a bar with his friend, meets this beautiful girl who he is super interested in because he cannot read her. And she has the same infatuation with him because she cannot read him as well.
Yeah.
And this girl, obviously, is Lana. So they start dating, and Lana's, feeling a little bit insecure about it because she knows that he's an FBI agent, that he's probably looking for her, and then it goes on in the relationship, and he tells her that he's looking for this person, and she kind of just has to
pretend, but also she doesn't want to use him.
No.
For, to mess everything up, so she's like, don't tell me, I just,
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Let's just hang out, me and you, as people, and not with our jobs.
Yeah.
And, his coworkers get involved. Her accomplice gets involved as well because she has her best friend from this town also helping her with all these murders, and he's like a tech wizard. And things kind of blow up.
Yeah.
And get crazy at the end. So with that, should we get into it?
Yeah. Should we start with our favorites or least favorites?
I don't know. What do you want to start with?
Maybe favorites.
Let's do favorites. We're going 3, 2, 1, right?
Yeah.
3, the first kill. Because it sets this whole book up. It happens on page 5 through 8 or 6 through 8, something like that. Right at the beginning, it hits you in the face with this super visual killing, which I honestly think the first one is one of the worst.
All of them are quite shocking.
Yes, quite shocking. And this is what they tell you in the first couple pages.
Yeah.
She slashes his Achilles so that he can't run away, and then ties him up, strips him of all of his clothing, and then she always reveals herself to them when they're at their heightened scared moment, and then over the course of 3 days takes 3 pounds of flesh off of him while he's alive. Before she kills them. And she always cuts off their peepees.
Yeah. Which honestly, iconic.
So you're just kind of blood, whoa, this is going on. This is the story.
She's not just killing them. She is
mutilating these men.
And torturing them. And she kind of likes it, which you're whoa.
But I honestly liked it because I was whoa.
Shocking.
This is what we're reading.
Shocking.
It's so shocking.
You jump right in. Yes.
There's no lead up or slowness. You're in it from the very beginning.
Yeah. And from the beginning, you don't really know why she's killing these men. You just know that something bad really happened to her from done by these men. So it's kind of interesting as the story goes along to hear.
Agreed.
More and more about her story.
Yeah.
Okay, my third is the friendship between Hadley and Lana.
Oh yeah.
I feel like she hasn't had a lot of trustworthy girlfriends and girls that she gets along with because she's so I wouldn't say she's more masculine, but I don't think she's
she lacks a lot of emotions now because she's been killing people. Yeah. So she kind of
doesn't really have friends, period, because she kind of has to distance herself. So it was cool to see Hadley trust her after Lana explains her story to her and just how she helps her keep her secret.
Yeah.
Because she truly understood why she was doing it, and she's that is disgusting. I get it.
My second, it's so funny you said that, because my second is when Hadley found out that Lana was a killer. And this is how it happens. It's so good. It's so good. So basically there's a serial killer that isn't related to her, because it's not her. Yes. Called the Boogeyman. Yeah, and hate that. He's been killing people, and he finds out that who his like serial killer hunter is, and it's Logan. And so he's going after people that Logan loves. So he finds out that they're dating, and he like goes to her house to try to kill her. But Hadley goes there first because Hadley's like has a hunch that Lana is a serial killer at this point. She kind of figures it out before anybody else. And so she goes over to Lana's house to confront him, and the boogeyman is there, and he captures her and ties her up and throws her in a closet. And then when Lana gets there, because she's a badass bitch, she opens the door and kind of fakes innocence until the boogeyman comes at her, and she like can like turn the tables around, and
she has like full on like
ninja skills.
Yeah, she's like full on flipping them with her legs.
She's crazy. And then she goes into evil villain mode and is like, do you know who I am? To the boogeyman. She's like, I am one step ahead of you. I'm better than you.
Yeah.
I do this too. La da da. Has this whole evil like, spiel that Hadley hears. And Hadley sees this whole thing play out. And then when Lana ends up killing him, she kills him.
Yeah.
She kills him. Then all the FBI agents come in. And they're like, Lana, how did you do that? She's like, I just got lucky.
Yeah.
His gun flew over and I just got it and was able to save myself. And then they find Hadley, and Lana looks over and she's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
She heard everything. And then Hadley plays along and she's like, yes, this bitch is on my team.
Yeah.
We're working together.
She plays along because she kind of gets it. And then she's like, they go to the hotel and she's like, okay, bitch, tell me the tea, what's going on, or else I'm going to tell on you.
And they become best friends.
Yeah. And it's great.
Loved it.
Okay. Next is kind of similar, my second one. The friendship between Jake and Lana.
Oh, that's sweet.
I just love friendships, I think.
You're so friendship.
I just love friends. So, like, the fact that they would do anything for each other and they're not blood related is just so sweet.
Yeah.
And it's so special that they keep each other sane and safe throughout this whole crazy plan, because it is honestly could drive you mad.
Yeah.
Doing these things, and they both keep each other like grounded to, you know, back to reality and not like letting it get in their head, and so they can have a life after all of this. And also both of them are so cool.
Oh, I know.
Like Jake is insanely brilliant.
Yeah.
The things he can do in like with
it's out of this world. It's not real.
It's not real.
It's totally not real.
It's like his tech genius. He's like a tech genius. It's insane. The things
he's
he
a
can
prodigy.
do. And they're both like skilled in like jujitsu. Like they're crazy.
They're crazy.
They're full on like weapons of their own right.
Yeah.
And I just think they're super cool, and they just I like their friendship a lot.
Also, can we talk about how Jake was in a wheelchair for 3 years to cover up their story? That's commitment. That is commitment. He learned how to control his legs so they won't even like flinch or anything. Yeah. That is a lot for something.
They were very smart with
their
plan.
That's a lot to do.
They committed.
Because they were worried that once they figured out that they were all from the same town, that they'd go after Jake.
Yeah.
So he
revenge.
Put himself in a wheelchair so that they would be like, he can't do that because he can't walk. But he can walk. Anyway, my favorite moment was the finale. The finale town extravaganza.
Oh yeah, everyone goes insane.
At the very end, it was so good. I mean, it's literally, it could never happen in real life. What happened in the end, it's so ridiculous, and that's why I loved it, because at this part I wasn't even scared anymore, and everything that was happening was so ridiculous. I was like, this is comedy, this is hilarious,
because they all deserved it, sort of.
They all deserved it, and it was like the town was almost haunted now.
Yeah.
Ooh, ghosts. They dyed the water red so that when the sprinklers came on, it looked like blood. And you have to remember, these are people that have never watched real television.
Yeah, they're like severely religious, so they think like the only thing that could be causing this is the dead.
Is God and the devil.
The devil is coming.
They take over because of Jake's technicality geniusness. They take over the TV and the cameras.
Yeah.
And so she's playing what happened to her, because they do have video proof, because they did have cameras in the town.
Yeah.
They played what happened to her on all the TVs and showed the whole town what happened. And they're
Iconic.
like, there's a difference between hearing a rumor and actually seeing it. And they all saw it. They got magic paint to just show up.
Yeah, the magic paint.
That was so silly.
I mean, how did that happen?
Yeah, it was fine.
I'm sure there is a way.
Sure, there's a way. It was amazing.
But it was amazing.
Just on the walls, it'd be like,
A
you
quote.
will die now.
Yeah, like quotes.
Spooky, scary quotes.
I would be scared.
It was hilarious, and the whole town's like, we gotta get out of here! They're
Yeah.
like, leave now or else.
Or else.
And they're knocking people out and putting them in cars.
yeah, because they're like, they don't want
them.
them to get hurt.
Mm.
They just want to kill the
Because
bad
they,
people.
at the end, they burned the whole city to the ground.
Yeah,
It was a great finale. It was
Great
like a
finale.
fireworks show.
it was. It was like everyone's just rampant, like running around
it
the
was
town going crazy.
crazy.
Okay, my favorite. This is like a little bit, I don't know, like deep, I guess.
Okay.
But I just really liked it. So the whole premise of the book, I think the point is to show that there is such a fine line between
Right and wrong.
right and wrong, and how we justify we can take their lives versus who we can't. And so like the way they discuss violence and how it's okay for the military and police officers to kill because it is sanctioned by the government, but because Lana isn't a part of that, she's automatically a murderer, even though she is killing bad people, just like police and military men do and women do. So it was just really interesting because, you know, you can hear about if I killed someone, it would be, you know, you would automatically think I'm a murderer or it's self-defense, but it's like people who have these titles can just kill without
Willy-nilly.
anything. It's just like, because the government says so, it's okay.
And when or at least when Logan found out it was her and she confessed, that's the first thing she asks him when he's like, how could you do this? She looked at him and goes, haven't you killed anyone? And he was like, yeah, I have killed people.
Yeah.
She's like, so how does that make us any different? I mean, she tortures them for days.
Yeah. But they kind of deserve
It's the same life.
I get it,
thing.
though.
Anyway,
I have a quote because I really liked this and I thought it summarized the point of the story. I think this is Jake, and he says, but she's supposed to what? Just move on and forget it happened? Because the law says it's wrong to exact revenge on monsters unless you have a badge or a government decree. This is a girl who spent years training, learning control to keep her mind sound, something our military or law enforcement doesn't even require. These men, they destroyed her entire family, they destroyed her 2 fucking kids. And I just think that's interesting because she's like, I'm going to make sure when I kill these men that I'm going to remain myself and
not let it overtake me.
yes, and that is something that in the present day, a lot of police officers get a lot of judgment on because they don't have to do a sort of mental health training as she did. And she had plenty of training to
combat those emotions.
Yeah, combat this revenge in a healthy way, sort of.
It's fiction.
Yeah, it's fiction. It was just really interesting. I thought that's kind of what the point of the book was.
Yeah, the point is to make you question your own morals and the way that you think about right and wrong, I think.
Yeah.
And just kind of, because I know in the book, halfway through, I was rooting for her. I was like,
I was like, kill those guys.
the sheriff.
Get the sheriff, get Kyle, all of them.
Let's move on to worst moments.
Yeah.
So, my number one worst moment was the usage of nursery rhymes to scare. I don't like this. I don't like this. This takes something of my childhood, something I love, something that is innocent, and makes it scary.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it when scary movies do it. I don't like it when TV shows do it.
They always
don't like it when you use nursery rhymes to scare people. Anyway.
It's creepy, I guess.
It's just a personal preference, you know?
Yeah. Okay. This one might be an unpopular opinion. And this is number 3 because it's not my least favorite thing. It's just something I was like, meh. I like Logan. But he didn't stand out to me as much as the other characters.
Really?
He was a little bit one note to me. Okay. I thought he had great morals. I really appreciated that. He didn't judge based on sexuality, color, gender, any of that. And I thought that he was very understanding of a lot of things and kept an open mind and stood up against his department. And he treated Lana so well and was just a great boyfriend. But when he chained her to the bed naked after sex, that really pissed me off.
I mean, that wasn't his best moment.
And I didn't really care about his opinion, like, because each chapter kind of switches between different points of views. Like, I wanted to read more of Lana than I wanted to read of his. But it wasn't like I didn't like him. It was just more like a meh. It wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, I think because Lana was so crazy, they needed her opposite to be so
level-headed
and level-headed, which is not as fun to read. I'll give that. It's not as fun to read. But I feel like it wouldn't have worked and his change, because at the end, I'm ruining the end.
Yeah.
At the end, he accepts her. They fly off to Mexico because he totally ruins it with the FBI. He ruins his whole job. They take all their money because apparently they have all this money. They fly to Greece. They went to Greece.
Yeah, they went to Greece. My dream.
And just live in Greece with
because
Jake and Hadley.
The person's life that she takes over is like this
rich
royal.
Yeah, she's like this heiress.
Yeah.
And
so she has a shit ton of money.
Yeah, they go to Greece and live in this mansion with Hadley and Jake, who now are also in love.
Yeah, which is really cute.
Really cute. And they all live happily ever after. And for their anniversary, Logan goes and finds a pedophile or some gross guy and gives the gross guy to Lana to murder. And she's like, you can't get rid of it.
He's like, once a year you're allowed to murder someone.
And she's like, yes, the high, I miss it. Once you murder that much, you can't go back.
But I love that he accepts that.
My second worst moment, the stupid ex-girlfriend of Logan. I hated her.
Oh.
What was her point?
Yeah. What was her point?
Here's the deal.
I forgot about her.
They have just exactly. They have this annoying ass ex-girlfriend FBI agent where I was ready for her to do something, because they kept bringing her up over and over.
They did.
And for nothing. For no reason.
No.
She did nothing. Nothing happened with her.
No.
And except Lana being like, I'm gonna murder her, and Hadley being like, Lana, you can't
calm
murder
down.
innocent people. You can only murder the people that raped you.
Except when Lana spit gum in her camera, that was hilarious.
Okay, but yeah, that was good. That was good.
But
why?
But
other than that character was so irrelevant.
She didn't really try to hit on Logan or anything. She did, but Logan didn't care, so it didn't really matter.
And I was like, so why are you even that mad?
Yeah.
Your boyfriend's get off.
She was kind of irrelevant. She didn't really need to be there.
She was just annoying. Every time she came up, I was like, oh, this bitch again.
Yeah.
Here. Anyway.
Who cares? She doesn't even like you, girl.
Stupid.
Okay. So my number 2, this is more not a thing I hate about the writing, just me being mad for her. Kyle as a character. Fuck him. He's so evil. He's so evil.
Kyle is.
If I knew him, I'd want to kill him too. Okay.
They did it on purpose. They made him like the worst. He's a sociopath.
Yeah, he's a sociopath. He dated Lana and then let all his friends abuse her and her brother and humiliate them.
He raped her brother as well.
That's insane.
To date a girl.
That's so evil.
And he told Lana that he loved her when they were dating.
That's a pure monster.
Pure monster.
He deserved to die.
He was the one that illustrated the whole gangbang situation.
Yeah, he's the one that did it. And he tricked her.
Yes.
Into coming. And she trusted him.
Because her dad was just killed.
Yeah.
Her dad was murdered by the sheriff's guy's little minion.
Because they're homophobes.
Because they're homophobes.
You're kidding me.
And then Kyle says, I'm going to take you so that you can see where your dad was buried.
Yeah.
And instead of like helping them through their grief, kills them basically.
Yeah.
And tortures them. Literally, her brother dies by being tortured.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So evil.
He's so
and
evil.
It doesn't stop after that. Like,
No.
he continues to abuse and assault women
He almost
for
does
years
it
and
in
years.
the book.
Because he's a spoiled brat.
And his dad
he's
is
evil.
the god of this town, so he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Oh my god. He is an evil,
and then
evil
his
person.
evil dad does everything in his power to keep his precious little baby son safe.
Yeah, when he died, I was like, yes! Kill him!
Which brings me to my number one. I didn't like final killings of the sheriff and Kyle because they weren't hard enough. They got let off easy compared to the other guys.
Kyle's was pretty bad.
But the other guys were tortured for days. They got off pretty easy.
Kyle was like
Skinned alive. That's true. The sheriff though. The sheriff needed to be worse.
Yeah, the sheriffs could have been worse.
The only thing that happened to him was he got stabbed in the shower.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna live my fantasy.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
That was
kind of funny.
But the fact that these other guys had to sit there for days and days and days to be tortured, and that's all he got when he was the worst. They were the worst.
I think Kyle's was pretty bad.
Yeah, his was bad.
She skinned him alive bit by bit.
Yeah, that's true.
That's terrible. That's really
But it didn't last
horrible.
days.
And then she hung him from the tower.
Yeah.
My number one is each time they had sex, it was so abrupt.
It was.
Like,
The sex scenes were not very good.
because
They weren't very good.
no, they weren't good, number one. Number two, I get it because Logan, like, his job was so, like, insistent on him being physically there at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't really have a lot of time.
He was like,
it was like,
I got 30 minutes, let's go.
yeah, he's like, okay, I'm here. Okay, let's have sex. Bye. But every single time it was like that.
Yeah.
And they would talk for like 0.2 seconds, be like, how are you? Okay, now we're gonna have fucking sex. And it would be like, oh, he's pounding me. I can't.
Thank you, man.
I can. I came. They had a lot of sex. And each time it was so abrupt.
That's another thing, there were so many sex scenes.
But they were all the same.
And they were all the same.
It was fine. It didn't affect the story, but it was just like...
You don't read this story for the slutty part.
No.
For the smut.
No, not for this. The smut was bad.
I get that.
I think that the sex could have been better.
It could
and
have.
It could have
and
been
then it would have been
less
a perfect
like,
book, probably. Yeah.
whoa, this is really quick. And she came in like 2.2 seconds, and it was like, girl.
You silly gal.
You silly gal, that would not happen.
No.
Okay, anyway.
Anyway, now we're going to move on to our little special bit, which is we each picked our favorite kill.
Yeah. Our
Yay,
favorite.
favorite kill.
Yeah, cute.
Because there's a lot of them in this book. She's a serial killer. She
Uh-huh.
kills a lot of people.
And they described like pretty much each one.
Yeah.
So it is really fun to hear how she does it.
It's
gross, but
It's very interesting. My favorite kill was, and this is one surprisingly that isn't even that graphic, but it was still my favorite, was the killing of Hadley's stepfather.
that one's good.
It's a good one. So,
Because he's
a little bit of
evil.
backstory. Hadley's stepfather is a child molester. And he molested her as a child, and then when she spoke up about it, they sent her to a shrink that basically gaslit her, and her whole family gaslit her and told her that she was imagining things and that he didn't actually do that.
So good.
So good.
Ow.
And then, oh no. And so Lana went to go investigate and found out that he, in fact, did child molest a lot of children.
A lot.
Like 30.
Yeah.
30 children. And took Polaroid pictures of each one of them naked while he was doing it. And had a picture of Hadley.
Evil.
Lana takes the picture of Hadley and hides it so that the FBI doesn't see hers, because she's like, I don't want all of their friends to see me, like her as a child, naked, like as a victim. And then, so she kills him by, she makes him swallow nails.
Yeah.
She makes him swallow nails. And
yeah, that's terrible.
You know, tortures him a little bit, drags him up a hill, and like throws him in the river. His like dead body. And then finds a child in a shed that he had been using. So now it's even worse because I guess Hadley's mom divorced him, or he left Hadley's mom once she was too old to be like his sexual pleasure anymore. And then now that he didn't have like one solid girl to mess with, he would just find random girls and kidnap them and hide them in a shed.
But like little girls,
like 6, 7, 8, and then would kill them when he was done with them.
Yeah.
And
Evil.
there was a graveyard of all these little kids.
Pure evil.
But they found a kid and they saved her.
Yeah, they did save her.
But yeah, that was my
That
favorite
was a
kill,
cute...
because that was one of the first kills where I was like, kill him.
Yeah.
Kill him. He's terrible.
That is evil. And there are people like that, so...
There are.
Scary. My favorite was when she kills the two guys. I don't remember their name. It's like the two guys at once in the garage.
And makes them watch each other.
Yes. She cuts off their peepees and puts the dicks in their mouths.
The opposite.
The opposite dicks. So the other guy's dick is in their mouth, and she sews their mouths shut. That was crazy. That was crazy. I was like...
And that's one that they don't show right
hilarious.
away.
Yeah.
We hear about it.
From the FBI.
The FBI, and we're like, yeah.
Because they open their mouth and they find the dicks and they're like, oh, that
There
one's
they
from
are.
that guy's. And, ooh,
That was a good one.
is evil, but I loved it.
Yes.
It's hilarious and disgusting.
This writer really found interesting ways to kill people.
Let's talk about what we thought. Okay, so what was your rating?
Ooh, that's hard. I honestly think it's a 5 out of 5 for me. I love this book. I read it so fast too. It's a big boy, and I think I read it in like 4 days.
Yeah, I would say it's like, I don't know, it's hard. I think it was like close to a 5. It was really fun.
It was so fun. And the thing is though, guys, I read my books based on how much I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
So it's not really about the writing or...
Yeah.
It's more about just like how I experienced it, and I could not put this book down. This author is so good at cliffhangers at the end of chapters. I'm like, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. I loved it.
It just, the story,
It's so unique.
it is so unique. It's not like nothing I've ever read.
No.
And
especially now that I've read a lot of books, especially I've read a lot of books where if you change a few things around, they're basically the same book. It was a breath of fresh air for me.
Yeah.
To read something that I've never even come across, not a single storyline where I'm like, oh, I get where this is going.
yeah, no, it twists and turns the whole entire time. And I just feel like it wasn't just crazy to be crazy. It like had a point to it.
Yeah,
it made
story.
you think. And you're like, oh, what are my morals? And what do I think about right and wrong? And how we view death and violence and...
Yeah, but it is a great
Because I get it. I get why she kills them. But
yes.
I couldn't personally do it like that. So that's why I'm like...
It's moral. It really does make you question all your morals. Yeah, good book. Good.
I really liked it. I really liked it.
I really liked it too.
It was really fun.
It was so fun. And it was so different than anything I've read.
Yeah.
That's why I think I loved it the most, because it was so different than anything you'll find in any other book.
Yeah, I didn't
There's no book
expect
like
it.
Read it.
Read it.
Read the book.
Read the book.
You should.
I mean, we just told you all the
We're
things.
gonna come from me.
We just told you all the things,
Still read it.
but
You'll like it.
you'll like it. And if you have read it, tell us your thoughts.
Yes. Anyway, we're gonna come back at you next week.
With a classic Drink Read Fabio episode, coming back with you with another cringy book that makes you drink. So,
It's gonna be a good time. Come on back.
yes, like, subscribe, comment, stars, all the things, you know the deal. And come back for another episode of Drink, Read, Fabio.